website and I'm good to go, right? Not quite. If it's your first time investing in a website, whether you're hiring someone to help or you're flying solo, or if your current site feels a little clunky, confusing, or cobbled together with a million plugins, it just may be the right time for a revamp, my friend. Hey, I'm Matthew, brand designer and business coach, and today we are exploring the 5 top mistakes that founders make when building their websites. We'll discuss what to avoid, what to fix, and how to create a site that actually supports your growth, whether that's more sales, more subscribers, or more success in whatever metric means the most to you. As always, there are timestamps and resources in the description below, so let's dive in. Let's start with a mistake I see all the time. I'm not kidding. The mistake is trying to build your site on a platform that requires a ton of plugins for everything. Do you want to add a form? Plugin. Do you need an image slider? Plugin. Trying to connect email or optimize a little bit for SEO? Yep, you probably need some more plugins. The problem with this is, outside of the frustration of finding those plugins and connecting them or embedding them or whatever the heck you got to do, each of those add-ons can actually conflict with each other, or worse, slow down your site. And suddenly your simple website turns into a full-time maintenance gig. And nobody has time for that, my friend. You have a business to launch. So here's my take. Your website should work for you, not create more tech headaches. That's why, for example, my agency, Good Brand Partners, we use platforms like Webflow or Squarespace because they have powerful tools built in, like baked into the platform, so you don't need to patch together some sort of like a Frankenstein system. Now, those are just the 2 that we use. There are totally phenomenal platforms out there to use too, like Wix, or if you're a more robust e-commerce company, Shopify is great as well. So be sure to do your research on which platform will help you scale without holding you back every time a new idea or opportunity arises. Mistake number 2, choosing a website builder that's hard to update or just doesn't give you the flexibility you deserve. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The ones where every text change feels like a game of Jenga and you're afraid of breaking the beautiful design that cost you a decent chunk of change with one click gone wrong. I have had so many clients come to us saying, I just hate logging on to my site because I don't know where anything is and I feel like I have to click through thousands of things just to get to where I want to go and I just want to... Can you relate? That is a design problem and a platform problem. So here's how I usually think about it. You want to make sure that you're again choosing a platform that makes it easy and simple to make updates without worrying that you'll screw with your entire timeline. With Squarespace and Webflow is that the editor capabilities are super user friendly. You can update your copy and swap an image without worrying about like totally messing up everything. You know, on our Webflow sites, we actually even have different permission levels so that our clients don't need to even like worry about the visuals. They log in through a backend that is super customized to how we built their site. And if they needed to update something like, let's say like a blog, they can click on the CMS panel, then go to blogs, click on said blog, and then it just gives them the list. And it's just like clean, simple. They don't have to worry about breaking anything. And the magic little elves in the background translate what they inputted with all of our beautiful design on the front end. You always want to make sure that you are choosing a platform that allows you to easily update the site yourself, because you don't want to have to keep on going back to your designer or agency or studio, whoever you brought in, to change a word or an image. All of these things, you should feel empowered and like safe to do so on your own in real time when things happen. Now, mistake number 3 is much more design oriented, and it's a pretty big one. Overcrowded pages and not enough white space. So you may be nodding your head if you already know what I'm talking about, but if your site is jam-packed with text, buttons, images, pop-ups, and 7 calls to action all at once, that's going to overwhelm your visitors. Think of it like walking into a totally poorly designed restaurant. The lights are dim, you can't see anything when you look at the menu, you have 10 people asking you different questions, there's loud music playing, the kitchen is really noisy, there's someone dragging trash through the dining room, right? You wouldn't even know where to look and you would just bounce really quickly. The same experience could happen on your website in just a digital format. And so when I talk about overcrowding, the best solution is negative space or white space. And this is what gives your content room to breathe, right? It helps guide the eye with visual hierarchy and actually makes your site more user-friendly. It feels like everything is in its place and nothing is crammed and squished and you're not gonna miss anything because you're skimming through pages and pages of just crap. It's actually everything has its place, everything has its reason, and the white space gives us as the user a chance to breathe and take in the messaging and the imagery that we're experiencing within this certain viewport, right? Leave space and edit ruthlessly, my friend. White space is your friend. Don't think that it's empty. It's better to have less than way too much. Now, mistake number 4 is poor messaging. Now, while I don't expect you to be an expert copywriter whatsoever, I do encourage you to take the words you use on your website seriously, because they are doing a lot of the heavy lifting with your marketing. And it's because messaging isn't just filler text, or it shouldn't be, right? It's that bridge between curiosity and conversion. It's what helps someone decide if you get them, or if you're just another tab that they're going to close in 2 seconds. Yes, you can totally have fun and play around with your tone of voice and the key and the words you use in your vernacular. Please do that. But do not fall into the trap of being way too clever instead of being clear. Your website visitors aren't here to solve a riddle, they are here for answers and to see whether you are the right provider with the right solution to their problem. Because at the end of the day, people are clicking onto your site because they are trying to solve a real problem. I need someone to remove a tree in my backyard. I want someone to renovate the exterior siding of my home. I need someone to design a website for me. I need someone to capture my wedding day. All of these are real problems, and your visitors are trying to reach a goal, an end destination, and they want to be able to find someone that they can trust. So speak like you do in real life, IRL. I'm not sure if we're still saying IRL, but you get what I mean. Make sure that your homepage and your landing page actually speaks directly to the moment your dream clients find themselves in. Are they overwhelmed? Are they trying to look more legit? Are they struggling with tech? Lead with their situation. Use phrases that they would actually say in their real life. And once you've acknowledged where they're at, the next job of your messaging on your website is to make sure that the transformation feels real. Paint the picture of what's possible when they work with you. This is where you talk about what your service actually does for them. I'm not saying all the minutia of what's included. We're going to show up at this time, we're going to do this, we're going to talk about this. No. What is the actual transformation, the benefits, emotionally and logistically, that they can experience? Then and only then can you start mapping out how it works, right? Like the steps, the price point, if you're ready to share that, and what it's like for you to work, what it's like to work with you. No one's going to care about any of the details unless if your messaging leads with the benefit and the transformation. Remember, you want to use your website as a filter as much as it is a magnet. Your messaging should help people self-select if they're in or they're out, right? They should be nodding along thinking, yep, this person gets me, this is what I need, I want to click here and move forward. Please do not make them work so hard to figure out what you do. Make it obvious, make it clear, because clarity builds trust, and trust is what turns visitors into inquiries, into clients, into repeat business, hopefully. All right, number 5, our 5th mistake when it comes to building a website is forgetting SEO basics. Yep, skipping the basics of search optimization when you build your site is a big no-no. Now, I'm not saying you need to hire an SEO expert right out of the gate, but you do need to think about how folks find your website, whether it's through traditional search on Google or more AI searches using ChatGPT, or even Google now has an AI window that pops up when you're searching on their search engine. So to illustrate this, I'm going to give an example. So I'm located north of Boston, and let's say you're a med spa located in Beverly. Beverly is a city north of Boston. Your site should literally say Beverly Med Spa somewhere on that homepage. I know it sounds pretty obvious, but you'd be shocked how many sites bury these very valuable key terms or words somewhere down along the page and then want to lead with some fluffy thing at the top. Good SEO starts with clarity. Clear headings, clear structure, alternative text on your images. It's not just for Google, it also helps visitors know that they're in the right place. All right, so it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't throw in a little bit of a bonus tip here. Here's the mistake, and here's the bonus tip that I want to leave you with. Don't make the mistake of confusing web design for brand identity or logo design services. I am saying this to you as someone who gets many inquiries of folks who say, yeah, I need a website design. And then I ask them, okay, great. So do you have an existing brand identity? Do you have a logo? Are there brand elements in existence? And they're like, no, not at all. And I'm like, okay, so do you want that to be a part of the web design build? And they're like, I'm confused. What do you mean? While some designers and studios like mine will be able to help with both, whether it's web design or logo design or brand design, it's important to recognize the order of operations, if you will. Sure, your end goal may be a shiny new website that brings in dream clients, but if you haven't spent any time at all figuring out your brand essence, your voice, your tone, the look and feel, and overall vibe, then the lift to design said website is going to be pretty heavy. If you already have a brand you're proud of, you can pass go and collect $200. If you don't have a logo or visual identity or brand voice and tone locked in, it is better to see a branding professional first, or ensure that your web designer will include that in the scope of work as well. We want to make sure we're not just creating a website that, like, yes, people can click to book you, but we want to make sure that the messaging is on point. We're speaking to your target audience. We're meeting them where they're at. We have visuals that align with the type of business you want to be. And yes, like, especially if you're a restaurant, a product-based business, or a serious entrepreneur, you want to be able to have a visual identity, a logo, a brand identity system that backs up all the talking points on your website. And that's also what allows your website to feel cohesive with everything else that you do, from let it be your email newsletter, to the business card you hand somebody at a networking event, to your Instagram content. You want to make sure that everything feels on brand. So make sure we're not putting the cart before the horse, and always make sure that branding is either included in your web design scope or tackle that first. All right, so before we wrap things up, let's take a quick peek at what we covered here today. Here is your checklist of my recommendations of what to do so that you can avoid the mistakes that we talked about today. Number 1, ditch the plugin pileup. Find a platform that does not rely on 10,000 plugins in order to operate. Chances are plugins will break, your website will crash, visitors will get an error message, and they'll never come back. Number 2, speaking of platforms, choose a platform that's the easiest for you to edit. Some folks hire me and my company, we edit their website, and they never touch their website. Like, they come back to us every single time they want to edit, and that's just their personal preference. We, however, always encourage folks to say, hey, we're building this on 2 different platforms. Again, we use Webflow and Squarespace, for example. Both of those, we train our clients on how to edit their websites. Some folks take us up on it. Some folks are like, I just don't have the time for it, Matthew. That's fine too. That always has its time and place. But especially if you're a solo entrepreneur, you don't have a team, you want to be able to jump into a platform that you can easily edit without having to reach out to someone like me every time you have to change a word or an image. Again, our recommendations are something like Webflow and Squarespace. You can find out more about those in the description below, but definitely want to find something that's the easiest for you. There's a lot of platforms out there, so please be sure to do your research. Number 3, leave space so your content can breathe. White space, negative space is your friend. Don't feel like you gotta cram so much all over the place. Otherwise, it starts to look like a busy lottery ticket and you don't know which way to look and you're telling people 10 different things. Let it breathe. It's okay if we scroll a little bit and there's more information here. We take a quick break and we come back to something else down here. Leaving space is the best way to create a digestible, never overwhelming, and easily navigatable, you get what I mean, site. Okay, number 4, don't forget the SEO 101 stuff as you build. I'm not saying you have to hire an SEO expert or add on SEO into your website build right out of the gate, but do something like this. Go to Google, start typing in some keywords around your business. Notice what businesses come up. Notice in like Google, there's sometimes like little drop downs there of like other things that people ask for. These are keywords related to your initial search. So maybe start thinking about, well, is the content on my website stuff that people would actually search? And if not, let's start bringing more of that content onto your website. And number 5, messaging. Making sure that your messaging is meeting people where they're at, you're speaking directly to them, and then it feels like a cohesive experience. Just had to check my notes, I just flipped those. So we talked about messaging before we talked about SEO, but the point being that make sure your messaging is speaking to your dream clients. You're meeting them where they're at, you're speaking to their situation, you're making it very clear how you can help them, and we're focusing on transformational language, benefit-driven language, not just all the fine details of like how you work with folks. Get clear on how they can experience a transformation with you, what they can expect at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, after they complete the project, the service, what have you. And please, 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 the bonus tip here, don't forget your brand identity. So many folks jump into designing a website before they ever thought of the brand elements that they would use to populate said website. And remember, you don't need a complicated website, you just need one that works. One that looks good, runs fast, and reflects your brand in a way that feels effortless. Now, before I go, drop a comment below and tell me what's one thing on your current site you would love to simplify. Again, what is one thing on your current site you would like to simplify, improve, or make better? Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up and let me know what resonated most in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a future video on branding, business, and the systems that bring it all together. All right, until next time, keep making good out there.